Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Chameleon Girl Gina, and today we're going to be cooking, as you see by the title. We're going to go ahead and make some gumbo. And we're gonna do seafood, sausage, and chicken gumbo, okay? So some of the things that we're gonna need, and I'll explain what, if I'm missing anything from the beginning, please forgive me. This is not one of my best days. I hope it turns out to be a great video for you guys, but I have been pretty sick for some time. So forgive me if I seem like I'm not, all hyper and jumping up energetic. That's not my personality, however, so that's never gonna happen on this channel. But hopefully this recipe will help you to create or recreate something that your family will love and enjoy, as does mine. So the first thing that you're going to need to make your gumbo is, we're going to say that you're going to need the holy trinity of your vegetables, which is bell peppers. I have 3 whole bell peppers in there, a whole stalk of celery, and this is about 5 really small onions. And so you will need that much if you're going to use a pot, which is the size of the one that I'm going to be showing you guys in just a second. The next thing that you'll need is some sausage. I love Polish kielbasa. I like Hillshire Farm brand. It's my preference. It doesn't have to be yours, but this is the way that I make this particular recipe. And then a couple of more packs of smoked sausage. But you can use chicken sausage, turkey sausage, whatever to your liking, okay? For spices, of course, we're going to need some salt. We're going to need some sage. Unusual, yes, probably, whatever. Okay, and then we're going to use some onion salt, some garlic salt, some black pepper. Accent is optional. Your Creole seasoning or your Cajun seasoning is a must. You have to have Creole or Cajun seasoning. This one is about 100 times better than the common one that everybody uses in the square, like the pepper type of a jar. And you must have some gumbo filet. You have to have those things, okay? I mean, this especially. And we're gonna move on over here. You want to take, for this size of a stock pot, you want to have 2 whole chickens, and you want to take them and you want to boil them. Now, if you have more time in your day than I may have had today, then what you can do is you can bake your chicken real slow and low, like on maybe 200 degrees for about 5, where it's falling off the bone, okay? The next thing that we're going to need is plenty of shrimp. I think I have about 4 pounds of shrimp. And then, because of the size of the pot, I may even use this pot to do it in, but right here, I'm soaking my crab legs in some salt water so it just kind of gets them nice and cleaned up. So you need plenty of crab legs, as you guys can see. There's plenty. There's king crab legs and there is snow crab legs up in there, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my trinity of vegetables and we're going to get them going inside of the skillet. So we want to turn this up. I had it kind of low because I didn't want it going nuts over here. So I like cast iron skillets to cook different things in. But I never, when I'm making a more of an authentic gumbo, I don't really like to per se, what's the word I'm looking for? When I'm making authentic gumbo, I don't like to take everything and dump into the pot and stuff like that. When I make I have another recipe for gumbo. It's lazy man / poor man gumbo. And when you make that, you can just dump everything into your pot and let it cook for a couple of hours. Now this is more of an authentic gumbo. So it's gonna take you a little bit of time between cutting up your vegetables and stuff. And you guys look at that, it's starting to sear up. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my celery. The last thing that I'll do is put in my bell pepper, because bell peppers only take a hot second to cook. See, I like for these flavors to kind of marry up. Go ahead and they get married. So then I would start adding some seasoning in here. One of the seasonings that I forgot to mention that I personally like to have, but you don't have to, and I hope I can find it, but it's, well, here it is. It's celery flakes or celery seeds or celery salt. But be careful with your salt because it still can get salty. But you're going to start adding some of your flavors into this. And you're going to add your flavors into your stock from where you boiled your chicken. That's just too little. Hold on. In here. Even more of that celery flavor in there. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to cut up your sausage. And I'm going to show you guys how, just real quick, I'm not going to cut up every one of them, but I'm going to show you guys how I like to cut my sausage up. Bust that out the package. And it's up to you if you want to rinse yours or not. I think I'm going to just give mine just a quick rinse. So. So whenever I cook anything, I always like to have, you see how big the bites of sausage are? I don't like for somebody to be struggling to find a piece of meat, okay? So like this is an expensive meal, it's not a cheap meal, as you know, some of you who make gumbo all the time or make it on special occasions. I'm just making this for New Year's Day. But yeah, it gets expensive when you start adding even down to your sausage and a couple of chickens. So now we want that bell pepper to go on there. And by the way, guys, I use some extra virgin olive oil to saute this medley of vegetables. So I'm going to return in just a moment so that we can go ahead and show you how we're going to make the roux. So I'll be right back. Back to show you guys that now we have deboned our chicken. And so the water, well, it was originally water, but it has now turned to broth. And what was actually this high up, and you guys can see how high up it was with the little bit of seasonings in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the chicken and we're going to add it right back. Some gristle there that we don't want, and we're going to add it back. And we, for the most part, use all of the white meat and then just a little bit of the brown meat, okay? But you can do as you choose. I don't like it shredded. I like it more chunky, like the way that it is right now. Make sure you're not filling any bones or the gristle in there. Okay, guys? because you don't want nobody to run up on a piece of that. That's going to be eating your cooking. Okay. And then the next thing that we're going to add in there is the trinity of vegetables. And I'm going to have my daughter do that. Say hi, girl. Hi to the people.
Hi.
Oh, okay. They thought you was being rude. So we're just going to pour that in there. All of it. You want me to get a spatula? Hold on. You okay? Okay, that's good enough. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add about a tablespoon, a tablespoon, maybe even a tablespoon and a half of virgin olive oil. And then we're going to take our tails. Now usually when I make authentic gumbo, I like for my tails, for my shrimp to be the raw one. I like for my shrimp to actually be raw, uncooked shrimp is what I use. But my husband, you know, he picked these up on sale from the store, so we're going to go with this flour. So all we want to do is let that just really, really, really heat up. There's two ways I can make this roux. Either I can take and I can put some flour and water and whisk it and then pour it into this. Or I could take the flour and put it right in the center of the skillet where I have made like this little circle. And then I could take a fork and kind of beat in the flour. So I'm just trying to decide on which way I want to do it, and I think the second way is what I'm going for today. Okay? So you're going to get your flour out. I have you some hot water ready to go. I want that in the middle of there. That's about 3 tablespoons. And we're going to just start going around. It looks a little dry to me, so I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to add in a little vegetable oil, just like that much, which may be about a spoonful, a tablespoon. And this is not just how you make your roux for this type of recipe, which is the gumbo, but you can also use some good old gravy like this too. So as that begins to brown, then I could smell those shrimp flavors coming out of there. So then the next thing you know, after you see how it looks like a little bit of paste at the bottom, that you slowly pour in. You start with 2 cups of water. And then turn it to the off position. So you want to have that on about a high heat. Turn that down to the off position. I cooked my chicken I boiled it for about 3 hours. Filled it all the way to the top, and when I showed you how it cooked down. Now I could smell the shrimp flavoring coming out of here. So the next thing I'm going to do is drain this. I'm going to take this strainer. I'm going to hook it onto there. And just cook that for about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes. I'm going to pour that in there carefully. Now let me get this out of the way. Let that go right on down in there. Come on now. So you get the flavor. The reason why you do this instead of adding in your shrimp or your crab legs is because you want it to take on a seafood flavor early on. But if I were to add my shrimps, whether they were raw, cooked, or whatever, at this early stage in this, what would happen is that they would be tough, okay? And don't nobody want a chewy shrimps. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to take a nice fresh skillet. Cast iron is what I prefer. We're going to get that heat roaring because I kind of forgot to have this on there. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, let's start adding our flavors. We want some more celery flakes. Probably a whole tablespoon, right? And I'm not going to be measuring today, and I do apologize, but I'm just not doing that. Because this is a two-taste recipe. You'll know when it's right, guys. Just go easy, and then you can build your way up. So then, I want the Cajun Choice Creole seasoning to go in. And I want a lot of that. So it could take on the Cajun flavor of gumbo. Finna run out, but then I want some onion, salt. So that Cajun Choice, we probably did at least probably 2 tablespoons of that. A teaspoon of onion salt. Okay, now if you're making a little thing of this, don't add that much. A teaspoon of garlic salt. A little pepper, half a teaspoon of pepper. The reason why you don't go heavy on the pepper until at the very end is because you don't want it to be over peppered. Y'all know I'm gonna add some accent, which y'all hate, but okay, I'm sorry. But this is not required. Just try it if you want or not. I'm gonna add at least probably a teaspoon of that. And I'm going to now add a little bit of sage. Just a little bit, about a half a teaspoon of sage. Notice what I didn't add though, no filet. Because it's not time for the filet. The filet is at the very, very end when your gumbo is 1 hour till it's done. And just a little bit of regular salt. And that was probably too much, so I'm gonna say just use a half a spoon. Now we're gonna add these sausage, get them going. Woo! My dog will be happy if he ever comes in. But you're gonna add all of your sausage to another cast iron or the same one if you have, washed that out and whatever you do. It doesn't have to be cast iron. I'm just saying that because it's gonna sear it real pretty so that you can see the little sear marks on top of there. So that's on a medium-high heat. We're going to give our gumbo a stir. See how the vegetables become translucent? The next thing that we're going to do is add some okra to this. So I like the frozen okra that says frozen cut okra. And this is approximately, the servings, it's about 4 people, right, for this? Yeah, this serves 4 people, but I don't like a lot of okra in there. So we're just gonna dump all of that okra right in there. That should have been in there with the chicken. So I'm forgetting something. When you go to boil your chicken, if you like okra, put your okra in with the chicken. So it's cooked down to nothing. But now I may have to cook my gumbo a little bit longer to get it to where I want it to be. And it would have also married together with the chicken that I boiled real nice. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. So I'm going to be back to show you guys the rest of the process, okay? So now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and check on that. There's really not much to check on because, you know, got the okra. But we're going to go ahead and add the sausage into the gumbo right now. We're not going to drain oil either off of there because we want it to have a little flavor. So you see they're seared. We're just going to let them go on in there. So then we're just going to let it cook for another half an hour and come back and see what it's doing. That's all we can do. Okay. All right, everybody. So this is how your gumbo should be looking at this point in time. You should be seeing that your vegetables and your chicken is all down in there real good. So at this point, and your sausage. So at this point, what we're going to do is go ahead and add in our crab legs. And when you add in your crab legs, it's going to slow down the cooking of your gumbo because it is a cold ingredient. So you can turn your heat on your gumbo up a little bit to about medium high. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my shrimp. Now I put a little bit of tenderizer on my shrimp because they're the raw ones. And I mean, they're the cooked ones. And I want them just to be a little bit more tender. So I let them sit for about 30 minutes. And I'm going to put them at the top. But what I'm not going to do is worry about pushing them down in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is let this cook for another 30 minutes and then it will be done. Now in the meantime, I wanted to tell you guys that I had to go back in with some more Cajun choice, and I think I've used a little bit of Old Bay. So this is one of those recipes that I want you guys to remember. You have to season it slowly according to your taste. After you put the first level of seasoning, then you want to add on your next level. See, so I'm just putting a little bit more of that on there. Well, that was a lot because it takes a lot to really season your gumbo. And then the last thing I'm going to add is my gumbo filet by Zatarain's. I guess there's other companies who make it, but this is the one that I like. So I'm just going to sprinkle a hearty amount. Now this, I don't believe it contains salt in it. No, there's no salt. This is, if I could see that, saffron leaves, I believe it says. I should be having my glasses, but anyway. Neither here nor there. So we're gonna push it down just a little bit because of seasoning. All right, so we're gonna be back to check that out. All right, everybody, so we're done, and our gumbo is now done. And I wanted to show you guys the outcome of it. Now, the reason why I traded pots, and I know you guys are noticing, is because as soon as I added the gumbo filet, then it began to kind of stick for whatever reason on the bottom. So we caught it just in time. But this is the finished product. And so when you get down in there, you should be able to see where you got your shrimp. Plenty of shrimp. You got your sausage. You got your okra that has the it has
Cooked down.
no. You got your okra. Oh, and it's now translucent along with the rest of your vegetables. See all the chicken down in there and stuff, guys? So now all you need to do is go ahead and plate it with rice and you're good to go. So in the meantime, I wanted to wish you all a happy new year. Don't forget to do me that favor. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Enjoy the rest of your day.